a background. You know, we appreciate innovation, but again, innovation has come with its own challenges, especially in our banking setup. You realize that e-commerce, most financial institutions are all linked. They would want to see the brick and mortar. They would want to come to your business and say, yes, I was able to see stock. I was able to see licenses. I was able to see A, B, C, D. But the world is quickly shifting and very fast. You realize that most of our youths are actually doing businesses away from our conventional setup of doing businesses. I have a client who's primarily been involved in recruitment of firms in Europe. And those staff they are looking for are staff in Europe. So in a formal banking, every time they would go for credit, they will be told, it is not a kind of business ideas that we are used to, you know, away from the norm. But we as a SACCO, we are one of the modern SACCOs. We've embraced these various ways of doing business, and this is what we are doing. We understand that you could have an idea right at incubation. Come present it to the SACCO. And what we've done, alongside what I had said, 7 over 10, that is a start. That 7 businesses in every 10, the first year, they do collapse or they fail. This is what we've done. From education, we will educate you, give you the necessary expertise and skill set that is required. And again, most financial institutions will look for securities or collaterals. Majority do not have. So this is what we do. You remember I mentioned something to do with bringing similar ideas, people with similar business ideas together, and that each of them can be able to co-guarantee one another. That form of guarantee is one of the models that is really going to transform our business space, because you can be able to, you can be able to come and guarantee Charles, who is taking an advance credit to support their businesses. So away again from that, we do not purely rely. Our form of lending is purely based on the ability to pay. You know, most we find financial institutions very stringent credit policies that you cannot lend again without any forms of security. For us, we can be able to extend credit to you, and any part of the project that you're doing, that project becomes part of the security in as far as the repayment is concerned. So we are two-layer. Number one, we can use the guarantee system, which better serves the MSMEs. And then secondly, that idea, that project you would want to run, we will become partners with you, and we will extend credit to you, and that project becomes part of the security. So in a way, we are also part of that project, because we know the success of that project also forms part and parcel of the success of SIMA SACCO.
Thank you very much. And before we come to a close, I'd just like to bring in Mutembei as well as Bwana Mukesh Khanna. Mutembei, the technology digital space is evolving so fast. And so I am an SME, I may not have that much resource at hand, but I still want to stay, I want the best for my business. So what's the balance between staying up to date and there's a fear of investing in something that will become obsolete in 2 months. So I sink in my X amount of money, but then after a few months, it's become almost useless because of how fast technology is evolving. So what's the balance and how do I navigate that?
Thank you for that question, Dan. And I think as every business, it's never really about technology. It's really about driving your business, getting value, increasing your sales, pleasing your customers, and growing your business. That should always be your main focus. And just, going back, we've talked a lot about entrepreneurship, and, just my story is that, just like everybody else, you don't need to come from a place where you know everything. I grew up in a place called Gashie. Those in the 90s know that it was not the best place to grow up. And I started learning computers from, scrap computers that are thrown out by most corporates. So even if you're a small business, it doesn't mean that you have to have, gone to Harvard or, University of Nairobi to run your business and understand all the technology. It only matters that your main focus is who's your customer, you want to grow your sales, you want to grow that. The technology is different, technologies can be coming every other day, but the main focus should be what value are you getting from that particular technology? I would say, of course, I'm going to do a bit of self-promotion here, but for FastTagger, the whole idea is like, we're going to be doing all the thinking about how we can include the latest technology on the back end, and you just need to, take our service and understand your customer better, right? So don't try to become the specialist of the technology. Today we all talk about GPT, they call them generative, pre-trained transformers, but even before you start going to school to learn what all that means, right? It's just the output that should be important for you. So find partners such as us, who we know the back end and are just providing what is useful for you that will help you focus on your sales, focus on your customers, and growing your business. So look for partners who that's their focus and not trying to sell you on the most latest technology.
All right, thank you very much. And finally, as we close, Mr. Kana, as we adopt technologies, as we have people innovating, and that means you have to have some kind of technology that's going to help you to do this. Many are, would be a bit wary of the fact that technology can be compromised. Be it systems. I'm afraid for my data for a lot more. So how then do I make sure, what do I need to kind of have like a checklist that when I'm saying that we are employing this kind of technology, that my data, my information, my resources, my money are all safe?
Yeah, thanks for the question. I think very important, especially when we are being small businesses and medium businesses, when a business is vulnerable to such kind of threats, I think then it becomes all the more important. And also, just to connect to the previous question, I think both questions are, so the first thing that I would really propose is to not heavily invest in capital intensive technologies initially. And I think this is also very well understood by technology companies who are offering different kind of services to help SMEs grow. So there are SaaS models, there are tried and test models, there are things that you can learn from your peer fellows from the industry, and so I think that's more of an overwhelming thing, and don't allow yourself to get overwhelmed by the speed at which the technology is changing. Honestly speaking, a lot of the technologies that I see, I still have to find a problem. I mean, they appear to be a solution, but the problem is generally missing. So don't get overwhelmed by that, number one. Number two, yes, data vulnerability, please be aware of the laws. Very clearly define what is important for you. So one has to comply to the law of the land, that is one. Secondly, you have to be, as an entrepreneur, very, very clear about what information would you like to make public, what information would you not like to make public, how would you protect your information, how are you exposing your data and your information for such kind of threats. There are solutions available, there are consultants available whom you can consult and ensure. And not all the time, honestly speaking, not all the time, other than the financial transactions, not all the time everything is exposed. That's also in my opinion, it's overblown than reality. Yes, your financial processes, your transactions, your database of customers, your basic transactions that you are doing with your customers, all these things absolutely are very, very sensitive and they need to be protected. So that approach can slightly, make you still stronger in that area.
All right, thank you very much. And at this point, we'd like to close this part of this engagement, especially on the live TV platform. We've been watching this opening session and first panel discussion of the SMEs Conference and Expo. This is the 4th edition, and we've had 3 good ones, and the 4th one is going to be no less a great insight. It's at the KICC in Nairobi, so we're inviting everybody who would like to engage with us and with the different people who have set up here. We have different exhibition stalls on the grounds here at the KICC, where they are already showcasing the different things they offer. I'd also like to thank the gentlemen and ladies here who have shared their own experiences. So let's appreciate all these good people. Let's appreciate all these good people who have shared their experiences, their insights, and expertise on the same. So at this point, we take a break, or we close this session on NTV, but we shall still continue having the engagements at the KICC. And thank you for joining us. My name is Dan Mwangi.